Awesome. So we are live and ready to go. So thank you guys so much for those of you guys who are able to make it on tonight and to spend a little bit of time with us. If you are not on mute yet, you might want to put yourself on mute because otherwise there might be background noises and things like that, and it gets kind of distracting at times. But I wanted to go through a couple of announcements with you guys, particularly kind of focusing on 80-Day Obsession, but also kind of breaking down this month a little bit so everybody is kind of on the same page, because I'm not so sure that everybody reads the Coach Monthly email, but if you don't, there's always great information in there. So I will go through a couple of things, and then I have some big announcements at the end also before I let Lisa go. So obviously, like a huge new program coming out, 80-Day Obsession. Anytime there's a new launch of a new program, you will see an increase. At least I've always seen an increase in sales and excitement and momentum, especially when you get to start the new program yourself. So 80-Day Obsession comes out. It is going to be fully released on January 15th. So that would be a good date to start a challenge group. I'll be talking about our coach test group. I want to do just a coach-oriented group with 80-Day Obsession. So I'll be talking more about that here within the next week. But if you guys probably haven't noticed, but maybe you have, I usually rarely use the names of the programs, but I will describe them. So whenever everything I've seen about 80-Day Obsession says that it is a core and booty-focused program. I'm pretty sure those are Autumn's words, but we'll take it. It's 13 weeks long, 80 days. Every single day is a brand new workout. She legit recorded 80 days worth of workouts, which is insane. I've never heard of that done before. So I think it's something that's very innovative that Beachbody is doing, and it's really exciting. You cannot get the DVDs. It is only streamed on Beachbody On Demand. So on Sunday, January 15th, so the day before, they'll release the first week, and then that next Saturday, they'll release the second week. And so you can't even you have to do this program in order, which I don't know about you guys. Sometimes my challengers have a really hard time finding the schedules of the workout schedule. This is gonna be a no-brainer. Like day one, follow it. You only get 7 days to choose from. So start at the top. Hopefully they put them in order. Some of the programs, they don't put the workouts in order, which I don't get. The workouts are 45 minutes to 60 minutes long though. So schedule a little more time. I see your eyes, Taylor. Chill out. You'll be fine. You'll be okay. Just schedule a little bit more time in your workouts. I think that she's going to keep us busy and moving the whole time. And so I think it'll go by pretty quickly. I was going to go through some prices, but just go look at the different packages because they're a little bit different than normal. Everybody gets an extra $10 off from December 14th until January 15th. So the regular price of like the all access 80-Day Obsession Challenge Pack, which I'll talk about what that is here in a little bit, is $180 for that month. The middle of December to middle of January, it's $170. So just something to promote that they get an extra $10 off of any package that they get. The ones that stuck out to me was the Challenge Pack comes with, actually all of these bundles come with the slides and the loops. Okay, so if you're like me, I went out and bought them because I wanted to be organized, but it's really frustrating because she uses the colors of the bands, not the size of the band. So she doesn't say grab your easy loop. She says grab your yellow loop. Well, my colors don't match up with her colors. So that was one little thing that I had to get over. If they buy the specific 80-Day Obsession All Access Challenge Pack, they get the loops and the sliders. I'm guessing that will be perfect with it. There's a completion pack for $150. So that will include Shakeology. It'll have everything but BOD. So that's for people who have Beachbody On Demand already, but maybe haven't tried Shakeology, want the slides, the loops, and want a bag of Shakeology with it. And then they have what's called an accessories bundle, and this is something that coaches can get also. So this one is $59, and it has the slides, the loops. I want to say it had like portion control containers also. You get the calendar. I'm tempted to buy it just so that I can get like a paper version of the calendar because I'm weird like that. I don't know. I love the colored calendars. But there's ranging in prices from $60 all the way. There's a package that's like a mega pack for like $440. You guys, the commission on that pack is nuts. Yep. But that would give you Shakeology and 80 days worth of recover and energize also. So, something to think about. There's a little bit of background. Elena, actually, I'm going to mute you because there's a little bit of background noise. Okay, so with that, let me know if you want in our coach test group. We're going to go through this program together. We're going to be talking about post ideas for challenge groups, hopefully sharing our meal plans with each other. It'll be like just for coaches and really making sure that we are all getting the results that we want to get. This month, the Success Club prize is a 80-day obsession tank top or t-shirt. You can get either the tank top or t-shirt, and an 80-day obsession core mat. If you do not have Beachbody's core mat, it is phenomenal. It's like that thick, and it's really, really soft. And I think with as much as you're going to be on the ground on 80-day obsession, it'd be a great thing to earn this month by hitting Success Club. On the 11th, our new Beachbody site launches. So no longer are people going to be like, oh my gosh, I hate this website. It's so hard to navigate. It's going to be very user-friendly, lots of pictures whenever people are going in to purchase things. So that's going to be launching Monday. So if you're having trouble orders going through on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday of next week, that's probably why. It's because they're completely changing over the system. December 20th, A Little Obsessed is going to be released permanently on there. And then January 2nd, you want to write down that that's when our Super Saturday is. And so that's a really fun morning, typically, event where they have like, they'll probably talk about like where next year's Success Club trip is going to be. They'll talk about new products coming out, things like that. So it's a fun event to go to. There's usually a live workout. And then I have a personal thing that I want to share with you guys. I've told a couple of you all, but not everybody because it's not released to everybody yet. But we plan to tell everybody sometime this week, maybe next week. But I'm pregnant! So we're going to have a little baby due on July 1st. So I'm super excited. I wanted to tell you guys before, the world knows or, whoever, my followers know at least. So we are very, very excited. So if you notice a little bit of a extra pooch and less, abs coming, that is exactly why, because I am growing a little nugget inside there and it's official. So we are 10 weeks along and we are very, very, very excited. So with that, I'm going to throw it over. Thank you, Allie. I'm going to throw it over to Lisa. I definitely have my pen and paper. Hopefully you guys have something to write some ideas down. My heart is racing. So I'm going to go on mute. And Lisa, I'm going to let you take over from here.
Okay, so first of all, I don't even want to follow up with that because how exciting. Congratulations. That is so awesome. I will say, when you've been saying lately, don't worry, I'm not pregnant, in your post, I'm like, but are you really not pregnant? I wonder. So that is awesome. So congratulations. Okay, so I will try not to be long-winded. I've written all this out so that hopefully it is efficient and all of that. And I kind of took notes from our national wake-up calls that we listen to, and they always break it down to 3 points or 4 points or 5 points, whatever. So I have 5 points for you today. So I will try to make sure to be number 1, number 2, all that. So, and I'm going to try to show you some examples and that sort of thing. Before I get started though, before I start with these points, I posted live in my group, in the challenge group, that I'm going to talk about tonight, right before I logged on here. And I basically just gave a shout out to my girls, and I just told them how excited I was that I got to do this tonight. But I told them this isn't thanks to you guys, because you have participated, I got the honor of getting to talk to our whole team, and that's really special to me, and without you guys that wouldn't have been possible. So I just wanted them to know this is because of you too, you know? And so I just wanted to kind of share in that because we have grown so close this past 3 weeks. I knew a lot of these girls before we got started, but not very well. Some of them are my little sister's friends and they're 4 years younger than I am. So, but it's been really nice. And so getting to share that with them was just like super cool. So, but I will go ahead and get started. Number one is, and you teachers out there may like this or hate this. I don't know how you feel about lesson planning, but my number one is prepare/lesson plan. Okay, so when I first started, this is my third challenge. The very first challenge I did was with Meg, but then after that, I think I've been doing my own. So I think this is my third one, I think. But anyways, this is by far my best one. Granted, you get better over time, but the difference, the major difference, I will say probably overall is the fact that I went to Panera, it was like one Saturday, and I was there for like 6 hours, just like filling up my notebook of just like what I'm going to do this day, what I'm going to do this day. And I basically just kind of like planned it all out. And so I just want to stress that, you know, if you have like a full week long pre-party and then you've got your 3-week challenge or whatever, it is so key. Even if you don't have to write down every single day, because I didn't do that, but I just had an idea of like, what am I going to focus on pre-party week? What am I going to focus on week 1? What am I going to focus on week 2? Week 3 has been terrible for me in my previous challenges and seems to be in general because I've lost my motivation by week 3 and I know they have too. So it's like, what am I going to do so I can hit the ground running and re-motivate them and get them excited again for week 3? And so I kind of like just laid that all out and just really like was like, okay, what do I want to touch on the most in week 1? You know, everybody is motivated, they're excited, they're pumped. So week 1 is an easy week. And correct me if I'm wrong for any of you that have run these, but week 1 is like a piece of cake. Everybody is ready to go and they're excited. So for that one, it was more of just kind of like just having some fun and just, you know, that sort of thing. But then by week 3, it was like, all right, what's up, girls? Like, what are we doing here? You know, and like, I know some of you have done themes. So like, I know Courtney Harden did like the Friends theme. And so if you're going to do a theme, or if you've done like the Thanksgiving or the Christmas and you're doing those themes, it also helps to kind of chunk out those weeks. Maybe you focus on something that week 1, week 2, but again, because you're planning all of that out, it just helps a ton. And because for me, had I not planned all that out, because I tried some new things and I'll kind of get into that, but had I not, I would have thrown all of my new stuff into week 1. And then by week 3, I would have been like, oh crap, I've done it all. What am I going to do now? You know? And so, but because I planned that out, I really tried to mix in like really fun stuff with more of just like your regular like sweaty selfie, your post your meal plan, post a picture of your Shakeology, or share a recipe or whatever. So I tried to really like mix that in throughout the week. And so that I still had that excitement going by still this week in week 3, like it's still going really well. Okay. Another thing with preparing and the lesson planning to go still with number 1 is, if you haven't already, and Meg told me about this, but if you haven't already been using on Facebook where you can schedule when it comes up, like you don't have to get on and post like, I'm going to post this at this time. Like, so I think I even had texted Meg that day after I left Panera. I was like, I have 16 scheduled posts, like, you know, like so awesome. And so I had never done that before. I did not do that in my previous challenges because it was like, oh, no big deal. Like, I'll do it on the fly. Like, no big deal. Well, then it would get to a point where I'd have a day like today where it's just crazy. And before I knew it, the day was gone and I hadn't posted, I hadn't done anything. And so the day was just left. And so it's awesome because I don't have to be there posting. I've already done that work and I've already have intention and a plan behind what that post is. And so then it's there and I don't have to worry about it. So, I do think, and I think Meg told me this, but I think you can only do it on like a laptop. I don't think you can do it on a phone. Okay. Yeah. I haven't even tried for my phone because when I work, I just do it from my laptop, but you can't do it from your phone. So when you're doing it, do it from that laptop. And if you have questions on how to do it, it's pretty simple, but Meg or Ike or somebody can show you. And then let's see. Oh, and then one other like really key thing with like kind of preparing and lesson planning and all that is the fact that whenever you like, for example, one of mine is like, I have a daily challenge post. that doesn't have to do anything with the sweaty selfie, doesn't have anything to do with posting your meals, any of that. It's a completely separate thing. And by doing day 1 through 7, and I split it up week by week, but by doing all of those at the same time, I was in the same mindset. So I had a goal as I was day 1, we're going to talk about this. And then day 2, I know that we just talked a bit about this. So we're going to build on that. And so day 2, we're going to talk about this now. And so by doing that all at that same time and planning that out at the same time, again, like teachers, you know what I'm talking about. It's all about building up. But those of you that aren't teachers, it's like by doing all of that first week at one time, it was really helpful because I knew what I'd just done as opposed to what I posted yesterday. And then now it's Thursday and I don't even remember what my mindset was on Monday when I posted that. So now I'm posting on Thursday and then you run into, maybe you post the exact same thing and it's like, wait, we just did that. And so then your challenge are like, I already explained that, and so it just really helps as far as that planning goes. And then the last part of number 1 is you don't have to, I'm in no way am I telling you plan out all 4 weeks. If you want to, if you can do that, go for it. But I just did it week by week. So for the pre-party week, I had it a full week this time and I did just that week. And then Saturday or Sunday, I get ready and I post for the following week. So I did day 1 through day 7 and I posted those chunks. And that way I had just the week. I was focused on that week. And I wasn't overwhelmed myself or any of that. So that's the finish of number 1. Okay. Number 2, be that girl. Okay. And what I mean by that, if you need to show up and be the very go-getter from the start. You need to be the girl that you want to be in your challenges. If you want girls that are fun, you need to be fun. If you want girls that are going to post a lot, then you need to post a lot. Like if you want girls to be vulnerable and to talk about what's challenging to them and what's hard and all that, then you need to talk about that. And that is something that I didn't really do as much in my previous challenges. And so my ladies didn't open up to me, even if I messaged them individually, because I hadn't done that, and so whatever it is that you're wanting your ladies to do, you're wanting to get out of them, you're setting that example. You're being that girl first and foremost so that you're showing them, this is what I do. This is what I'm expecting from you. But if you're not going to be that girl, then you have no right expecting them to be that girl because why would they? Some of them are brand new. I have got some girls that they've been with me for a few months now, but even them, I've got girls that I've had for a few months now that are posting different and posting more and coming out of their shell more now than they had because I'm coming out of my shell more now. And like I mentioned at the beginning of this call, we have grown so close in my group. We've gotten to know each other really well and it's just been super awesome. But that's because we've all kind of come out of our shells and we posted, and that started with me because I posted that first. And that's one of those things too that when I kind of took a step back, so often we'll post those vulnerable posts on Facebook and Instagram, but then when it comes to our challenge groups, we fall flat on posting that. And I asked myself as I was writing these notes, I'm like, why do I do that? That's what got these girls in this challenge to begin with, is because I was telling them this was hard for me. This was hard. I struggled through this, but I got through. That's what made them believe in me and take a chance with me to begin with. But then when I got to my challenge group, I stopped posting about that. And it's like, it doesn't stop. Once you get them, you should be rewarding them with even more information about you and sharing even more because they've trusted you to help them on these goals. I have goosebumps like crazy. So, but yeah, so that is my number 2 is you need to be that girl that you want to be in your challenge groups. Just like Meg has mentioned, come up when we've heard on the national wake up calls too, but the kind of coaches that you want to recruit, if you want them to be like you, then you need to promote that. You need to be that, because otherwise they might think that you're one person, then you get them in your group and you're like, okay, we don't click. And it's because we're not alike. So same thing with my group right now. Okay. So number 3 is kind of obvious, but consistency. Okay. So this kind of goes with be that girl, but it's a little bit more too. If you start off excited, you start off being that girl, you're pumped, you're having fun, you're posting all those things, you have got to keep it up. Because like I mentioned earlier, everybody is having a good time in week 1. Everybody. Week 2, people start falling off, but you know, as a coach, we still do all right. But by week 3, we're all worn out. And honestly, a lot of us are starting to plan for our next challenge. And so we may start to pull away from our current challenge. And that's not fair. You know, that's not fair to the ladies that are in our challenge right now. I told the ladies on Sunday, week 3, in my opinion, is the most important week. Week 1, and I said the same thing to them, week 1 was easy. We were motivated, we were excited, we were pumped. But week 3 is where it matters, because after week 3 is when you are deciding, am I going to go on or am I going to go back to where I was before I ever started this? So by being consistent, by showing up and being fun and being vulnerable and all that through the entire thing, you're teaching them that it is okay, and they're still trusting you. Because if you stop doing that, they're gonna be like, well, why is she withdrawing? Why isn't she this? Why isn't she that? You know, so continue being that same person, because otherwise it either looks like a front and they question you and they're like, okay, so clearly that was all just like a show. I don't know. And you don't want that, because you're not. That's not the case at all. So, but just simple things like make sure that, you know, you're posting every day. If at the beginning you've told your girls, I want you to post a sweaty selfie every day, then you've got to post your sweaty selfie every day. If you're wanting them to post a picture of their Shaco or their lunch or whatever, then you got to post those things too. Because again, like I mentioned, but you are setting those like expectations. So if you're not going to do it, then you can't expect them to do it. So by you doing it and you showing up every single day, you're showing them that it's possible. Because if you don't have time, or you don't make that time, then they're going to come up with as an excuse, well, you didn't make the time for it, so it's okay for me not to make the time. So that is one of the things that has pushed me a ton this round, or this group, because I've got a few ladies that they come up with lots of excuses, and they compliment me on the fact that I'm showing up every day, and they're like, you know, I'm just so proud that you're my coach, because I'm trying to get there like you. That's all I can ask. If they're recognizing that I'm doing it and that they see it's possible. Granted, I don't have kids, and some of the girls in my group do have kids, so I know that that's a different ball game, but they're just recognizing like, I can do it and I will get there, I promise. You know, like they're not giving up. So, but me showing up every day gives them the encouragement and the belief that they can show up every day too. And then I'm going to touch on this really quick and just kind of show you an example, if it'll pull up. So in my, I kind of mentioned it earlier, but my daily post challenge. Okay. So this is one of those things that I mentioned when I was talking about planning and lesson planning. So as just a separate thing that I wanted to come up with this time, I have a graphic that I used every single day. So it's all a part of this daily post challenge, and it's like a alliteration. So it just kind of plays on those words. But so like mine is this, I don't know if you can see it, but it's like this chalkboard thing. And so I use that every single day. I just changed the words. So they know when they see that chalkboard that's on there, oh, okay, that's my daily post challenge. Because if I was changing the picture every day, that would get confusing. That would get overwhelming. And so by looking at that, and so that example right there was like Terrifying Tuesday. And I always post like a little blurb of what it is that I'm wanting them to post out of that. But the reason this ties in with consistency is I think it's really important that you use that same image. Meg does a really good job about that too. She'll use like the same font, the same color, that sort of thing. So you know when you see that post, it has to do with that expectation that she's given you before. Same thing with that. The very first time I posted it, it had something like day 1 through 21 daily post challenge or something. So they knew, and I gave the explanation. So every single day when they see that chalkboard, they know, okay, what's my daily challenge now? I'm going to post that. So the reason that falls under consistency is just, I think it's been really helpful and important, and just successful, because it's been that same image, just the words have changed. And so they know, okay, I got to look for that chalkboard so I know where to post that daily challenge. Okay, so that's consistency. Number 4, again, this might seem obvious, but sometimes we just kind of get caught up and stressed out. But number 4 is to have fun. That takes a little time also. Sorry, I don't know. I'll read those later if that's okay. Okay. Okay, so number 4 is have fun. So this is something, again, new that I have done in this challenge, that I sat back and I talked, and I basically like asked myself, if I were a challenger all over again and I was in my challenge, what would I want out of this challenge? What would I want to do daily that would make me want to log on to Facebook and go to that page and post? What would I want out of that? And so I was like, I want to, I need to change it up. I need to do more than just posting my sweaty selfie and posting a picture of or writing out my meals or whatever. I needed more than that. And so, and I don't know, and again, no one's ever told me whether this is wrong or right the way that I say it, but one of the main things that I have started using is the GIFs. Is that right? GIF? I don't know. Okay. GIFs. Okay. So those have been freaking hilarious, and they show people's personalities. Like again, I told you some of the girls in this challenge were my little sister's friends, so 4 years younger than me. And one of them the other day, posted one that was like, get it girl, but it was like I don't know, an SNL skit of like someone like humping another. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like I've known you since you were like tiny, but it's just like hilarious because you're like, didn't know that part of your personality, but now I do. And you're hilarious, that sort of thing. And so it's just been super fun because instead of just being like, get it girl, and if they say it, they're writing it. So you don't get that tone of voice, that fun, if they're joking, that sort of thing. So these GIFs have made it like totally fun. And so, for example, one of them I did around Thanksgiving, I think it was either Thursday of Thanksgiving or Friday. I said, post a GIF to show what your family is like or something like that. And it was hilarious, the post that people put, because it was like craziness. Like most people just put like crazy stuff, and so it's just funny, and we can all kind of laugh in that. We're not like insulting our families, but at the same time we can laugh and kind of joke around with each other. So that's been huge. Polls, I've been doing polls, and sometimes the polls are more serious and sometimes the polls are just more fun, just in like me learning information about them. Selfies, but selfies doing different things. So along with my daily post challenge, like I said, it was like the alliteration where I think it was like celebrate Saturday, or I don't know. I know that's CS, but it's this sound. And I was like, post a selfie of you celebrating, whatever. And so it doesn't have to just be that sweaty selfie, but it could be like, and so two of my girls are like best friends in the challenge. And so they posted a selfie together of them like at the casino or whatever. And like, that's just fun. They could post that just on their regular Facebook page, but because we've grown close in our group, it was cool. And it was like, oh, awesome. Like, you guys are so cute, whatever. And so that just made it really fun. Like I showed you, my daily/day of the week challenge post, that has been really cool just because some have been fitness related, some have not been fitness related. Just to kind of give you guys some examples. I've done one every single day 1 through 21, but they've all been different. So, and I've tried not to do like your typical. So like the very first day was Mouthful Monday. And so I wanted them to post one of their favorite clean meals because it was the day one. So everybody was like on it, had meal prepped, had done all of that. And so I was like, what is the best new meal that you had today that you would love another bite of, that you would love another mouthful of, And so it's just like, and then the next one was Tough Tuesday. This is a new journey. What's something tough that you went through today? Was it your workout? Was it eating clean all day? Was it, what was it? And then some of them are just Thankful Thursday, so some of them you've heard of before. Why I'm Here Wednesday. And so it just kind of gets them thinking, it reminds them, and they don't have to be fitness related. Mine haven't all been fitness related. Some are, but again, because I have planned, I've kind of mixed them up. So some are more fitness related. We're reminding ourselves of our why. We're talking about what's tough, that sort of thing. But then others are just fun, like Wacky Wednesday. Like, tell me something weird about you that none of us know, or that not many people know, And so it just keeps it fun. It keeps it lighthearted, and it keeps them wanting to show up and be like, oh, sure, I'll tell something weird about myself. Like, cool, And I start off and I tell something weird about me, and they tell something weird about them, and we all feel good about it. So that's been really fun. Another thing, and this is totally where, you guys can choose to do this yourself, but I started doing giveaways this time. And it's kind of steep, but I took a chance. So I came up with a point system, and I posted it and I shared it and I explained it to them. And I basically explained that whoever gets the most points out of this, posting daily, encouraging another challenger was worth 2 points. Posting daily is just 1 point. Share a success was 3 points. Share a failure was 3 points. So if they didn't get their workout in that day, or they ended up going out to eat somewhere and it was like they totally ate too much, I encourage them to share that, because that's how they're going to grow. By hiding that wasn't going to work. So by sharing that and being like, I messed up, went to eat, I went to town, but it's okay, that sort of thing. And so all of those had a point system, and I offered a $25 gift card to wherever they chose, to one girl by the end of that week. And so I would tally up, and I kept track of the points every single night. I would wait and I would go through and I would like and comment on all of their stuff, but I just kept a tally system in my notebook here. And so then by the end of week, at the end of the day, Sunday, I would then, or Monday morning, I would post who won the challenge, and I would message them directly and just be like, hey, where do you want your gift card to? The first girl I had wanted her nails done, and then whoever won week, or the girl who won week 2 hasn't told me where she wants it to yet. And it doesn't have to be money. It could be like cool little knickknacks or something. It's Christmas time. You could do candles, anything like that. Gift cards are small though, and I didn't have to pay for like a lot of packaging, just put a stamp on it, send her in the mail, So last one is number 5, and that's setting expectations, which I already kind of touched on in the consistency and in the be that girl. But it's just so important. So I just thought it would be a good one to wrap up on and just to kind of remind. But by setting those expectations, what you're expecting from your challengers, you need to do, if checking in with them is important, and just posting about those expectations. So whenever these challengers and these ladies start, sometimes I've definitely guilty of this, but there have been times where I have thought that I explained it clearly, and then we got started, and then it's clear that they have no idea. And I'm just like, oh, okay, I thought I touched on that. All right, well, let's try again. So, and sometimes I'll like message them individually and explain, depending on those that are understanding it better than others, so that I'm not like boring the ones that know what's going on. And so I explain my expectations typically now through both a private message between us and on my page. And then I will kind of mention that throughout the challenge too. So like when I post, I'll take advantage of that time to post. And especially like last week, I had some girls that kind of fell off. And so when I'd post, I'd be like, I posted a picture of me with my Shaco, and I'd be like, I'm just really glad and proud of you guys that are taking the time every day to make your Shaco, to figure out a recipe that you like, and you're drinking every day because you're doing this for you. You've invested in you, and so I indirectly am kind of putting that pressure, but not trying to make them feel bad at the same time. And so my ladies, at least this round, have responded really well to that, almost to the point that they've even messaged me like, hey, I fell off, but I'm coming back. And so I didn't have to message them directly and be like, so where you been? Because by posting that and being indirect, they're like, I felt like you were talking to me. And I'm like, no, I was just posting in general, and even though I may have been posting, just kind of like when we talk about on Instagram, when we post, we're thinking of a specific girl in mind when we're posting that long post or whatever. It's that kind of that same thing. Once you get those challenges, same thing. And so, but a couple ways that I do that is from the very get-go, I do a live video and I explain, I'm expecting this out of you. I'm expecting this out of you. I'm expecting this out of you guys. And so by doing the live video, it's general. I'm not talking to just one. But then I'll send like a message and just kind of recap and be like, hey, so these are the expectations for the group. I send that an individual message. We're good to go. And then I also post it within the group. And I just say, hey, this is what I talked about in the live video. If you missed it, that sort of thing. So they're getting it like 3 different times. And so it's just really kind of putting that in their brain, like, okay, I need to do this. I need to do this. And I explain the reason that I have these expectations is because I want you to be successful. You took the time to join this group. You took your money, your hard-earned money, and invested in this. So let's make it worth your while. I check in with my ladies at least weekly. At the very beginning of the challenge, I talk to them through direct message. I ask them, are you someone do you want me to check in daily? Is weekly going to work for you? Do you want to contact me when you need to check in? That sort of thing. And so I try to get a feel, and I just write that down and make sure that I'm sticking to that. And that's the key, is sticking to that. If you have a challenger that says, I need you to text me daily, don't forget that, because that hurts. And even though you've got 10, 15, 40 challengers that you're working with, if you've committed to doing that and saying, yeah, I can do that, no problem, and then you don't, that's like a knife in the heart, because they're like, dang it, she told me she would do that, and I counted on her and I didn't. Granted, it is their job to get, everything done, whatever. But if you've worked out this agreement where you're going to text them, just try to get that done. And I know that gets hard, but again, that goes back to that consistency. If you're consistent, our goal is to help these ladies. And so if that's what it's going to take to help them, try to wean them off. Try to be like, okay, I'm going to text you every other day, because we're going to work up to where, you don't necessarily have to do that. and I just got 10,000 steps, and I've been sitting here because I talk with my hands so much. So, and I've like, I was like 700 short before we got started. So, almost done. And then I just, like I kind of already said, post indirectly. Another thing that I do is I will like over compliment. And this is like, again, a teacher thing, but I like over compliment the ones that are like doing a really awesome job. And I'll even to the point that maybe post like a separate shout out, be like, shout out to this girl because she has been like posting every day. She's doing awesome. She's lost 4 pounds. Like, wow, totally just proud of her, whatever, so that others see that. And again, they're like, I'm not getting onto them directly, but then they're messaging me and they're like, I'm so sorry. I'm going to get back to it. I got this. I'm going to do it, and I'm just like, heck yeah, you are. You got this. You can totally do this. And so same thing. And then if that person, even if they come back one day, their workout one day after they've told me that, I'm posting and giving them all the love too, because everyone likes to get that support. Everyone likes to be cheered on. And so that has just been huge, huge, huge. And just and one other thing that I have just mentioned and really shared with my girls is that everybody likes encouragement. The reason for these Facebook groups is because you needed help. You needed that accountability. You wanted that accountability and you wanted that help. So as a part of that, encourage others. If they are doing a good job and you're proud of them, tell them that. There's nothing wrong with telling them that. We're a group. We're going to be a family by the end of this. That's what I said at the beginning. And I truly believe it now. Like, I was hoping for that, but it has happened. Like, these ladies are so awesome. And I know that because I've taken the time to plan and that because I took the time to do all of that, it really helped me out here. And now we're in week 3 and my girls are killing it. Like, they're posting as much this week as they did in week 1. And that's because on Sunday, this past Sunday, right before, I posted a live video and it ended up being like 15 minutes long, but I was just like, we got to do it. That I'm expecting all of you to show up. We got to do this. This is the most important week, so on and so forth. And I had girls like commenting like crazy as my live video was going, like, I'm going to be back. I'm so sorry. We're going to do this, rock on, girls. Like, we got this. And so it's been awesome. I think we're about out of time, and I'm sorry, I'm very long-winded. So if anybody has any questions, let me see if there's comments. I don't know how to do this. Oh, here we go.
I loved that. That was awesome. So I will, if you guys do have questions or, little takeaways or whatever, I would love for you guys to share them. One thing that I love, and I think everybody can hopefully took this away from you, Lisa, but it can also implement this into their coaching. I was told maybe like 3 or 4 months into coaching, because I'm a very I can be soft on people for sure. And I was told, like, you're a coach, you're a leader, you're not just a cheerleader. And I feel like you have taken on that, like, I'm a leader, I'm your coach, which they asked for. They asked for that. They wanted that, but some of us, we have a hard time of, sending that message of like, hey, where have you been? Or, the indirect, like, hey, like, shout out to this person because they're doing this, this, and this. Like, I think sometimes we get into this, like, oh, I don't want to hurt someone's feelings. I'm a little nervous about that. But you took that initiative right off the bat at the beginning to be like, hey, here's what I expect. What do you want from me as your coach? Do you want me to check in each day when I've sent the message before of, if I notice you falling off, or if I notice you haven't checked in a couple of days, how do you want me to handle that? And almost every single person is always like, message me, like, call me out on it. And I think sometimes, at least I'm very leery to do that. And I loved, like, you kind of gave me that little kick in the butt to do that. Another takeaway for sure was the be that girl. I love that idea of, like, if you want to have fun groups, you have to be the fun, goofy, like, to the extreme almost. If you want to, get them to be more vulnerable, you have to share those. And that's so hard for us to remember because we do it often, like you said, on our page, but we forget to, like, transfer that into, like, real world, like our everyday interaction sometimes. So I love that. Does anybody else have you want to take yourself off mute and have any questions or comments about that, or anything that you do that was similar to Lisa's or that's been working for you in challenge groups recently also?
I have a question.
Is that Allie? You're so quiet.
I'm sorry. Okay, so I just wanted to ask, what y'all do when you have a girl that just does not respond. She's not active in your group, and you also like reach out to her individually, and you just never hear from her. I have one girl this past month who I text my girls 3 times a week just to check in, and I have not heard from her once. No response, nothing. I don't know if she's doing the work. I don't know. So how do you guys handle that? I don't want to be like annoying and like blow her up, but I don't know what's going on.
Lisa, I was going to let you take that one because you probably won't want to hear mine. I mean, if someone's not responding to me, then I'm not going to waste my time. I'll be 100% real. I've got you guys to take care of. I've got new challengers every month. Like, if someone like legit is not going to take the time of day to even message me back, I'm probably going to try a couple of times, and then I'm going to be like, sorry about you. I mean, they can get the $30 money back guarantee if it just wasn't for them, I guess. But it's just, that's just
yeah. The only thing I was gonna say about that is if you're texting her, and this is like sneaky. I don't mean this to sound sneaky, so please don't take it that way. But like, I might like Facebook message her. That way, I could see if she's at least read it, And so then I would just be like, hey, I know maybe right now things are tough or whatever, I don't know what's going on, but I just want you to know I'm here. And if you are ready to get back into it, you just let me know when, and we'll be right here for you kind of thing. And then that way you can see if she's read it. If she's read it and you're like, all right, I've done my thing, I'll see you later kind of thing. So, but kind of like Megan said, yeah, if she's not going to even respond, and it's like, all right, well, I got a lot of girls who are ready to go. And so that's what I'm going to invest my time on.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, what Lisa said over what I said.
Sorry.
What she said. I liked her answer a lot better. Tiffany said, what if they keep wanting to get back into new group but never participate? For that one, I always ask if they are investing in Shakeology. And if they are, then I'll allow them in the group. But if they are not investing in Shakeology and they're not participating, I don't really know why they want to be a part of one of the groups. So I wouldn't allow them in. I would say whenever they're ready to invest in their health again, I would love to have them back. But yeah, and I even I don't know if I should have done this, but I was kind of getting some weird vibes from a conversation I was having today. And this girl was legit like, well, I don't really like to post and I don't really like to comment on things. And, if it's, somewot public. And I was like, well, I have over 50 girls usually in our group, so it's pretty public. She's like, I just don't know if that's for me. And I go, well, maybe this isn't for you. And it's just like, oh, wait. I didn't mean that. So I'll be real with people. Like, if you're not going to participate, and like, even if it means I lose a sale, that's okay. Like, I don't want bumps on a log. Like, that's not why I became a coach. Like, I became a coach for the groups, not to sell products. And so if you're going to buy products, go buy it from another coach. But I want you to be active in the group. So I don't know if that helps at all, Tiffany. I think it kind of depends on the relationship you have with that person and, like, what's going on. I would also ask, like, hey, why aren't you participating? What's keeping you from doing it? Okay, any other questions? All right, holy moly. Thank you guys so much. Lisa, you did an awesome job for kind of leading your first call. So definitely great job. I will have this recording up hopefully soon, and you guys can share a couple of takeaways that you guys had from the call. But thank you so much for being on. We're having huge turnouts, and it makes my heart so happy. So we should be having another call here. I'll get back to you. We might do it maybe next Tuesday, since the 19th will be really close to Christmas. I don't want to take away from Christmas time. So I will follow up with you guys on when our next call will be. So hope you guys have a great night, and I'll talk to you later. See ya.